Cell phones are now so woven into daily life that it's hard to imagine a world without them. But their journey from bulky bricks to sleek, pocket-sized supercomputers took decades of invention, innovation, and a little bit of luck. Let's take a trip through the fascinating 50-plus-year evolution of the cell phone. Before cell phones, people used landline phones tethered to walls or desks. But the idea of mobile communication wasn't new. In fact, the earliest hints of wireless telephony came in the 1940s, when engineers began experimenting with radio phones, large devices installed in cars that let people communicate over short distances, mostly for businesses or emergency services. These early mobile phones were clunky, expensive, and had very limited reach. In 1947, Bell Labs proposed the idea of a cellular system, dividing service areas into hexagonal cells, each with its own tower. This would allow more users to connect by reusing frequencies in different areas. The problem? The technology to make it work didn't exist yet. Fast forward to April 3, 1973. Martin Cooper, a Motorola engineer, made the first-ever call from a handheld mobile phone. Standing on a sidewalk in New York City, he called his rival at Bell Labs to rub it in. The device he used, the Motorola DynaTAC, was 10 inches tall, weighed 2.5 pounds, and had a 30-minute battery life after 10 hours of charging. It was more weapon than convenience, but it worked. The mobile revolution had officially begun. Still, it took another decade before the first commercial cell phone service launched in 1983, using a network called 1G, first generation. The DynaTAC 8000X was the first phone sold to the public for $3,995. That's nearly $12,000 in today's money. The 1980s and early 90s saw limited adoption due to size, cost, and coverage. But the 1990s brought two massive shifts. Smaller, cheaper phones. Digital networks. With the rollout of 2G in the early 1990s, phones became digital. This meant better voice quality, more security, and, critically, text messaging. The first SMS message, "Merry Christmas," was sent in 1992. By the end of the decade, texting was exploding, especially among younger users. Phones were getting smaller and more stylish too. Remember the iconic Nokia 3310 or the Motorola StarTAC flip phone? The 2000s marked a major shift from phones being just for talking and texting to being full-blown mini-computers. 3G, launched in the early 2000s, brought higher data speeds and enabled things like mobile web browsing, video calling, streaming music. BlackBerry phones gained popularity with business users thanks to email on the go, but it was Apple's iPhone, introduced in 2007, that changed everything. With a full touchscreen, intuitive interface, and access to the internet like never before, the iPhone made smartphones mainstream. Just a year later, the App Store launched, unleashing a tidal wave of innovation with apps for everything. Meanwhile, Google's Android platform offered an open-source alternative, leading to competition, variety, and rapid improvements. Suddenly, phones weren't just phones. They were cameras, GPS devices, calculators, calendars, gaming consoles, and more. The 2010s brought fourth-generation long-term evolution, with data speeds fast enough to support high-definition video, real-time GPS, and high-quality video calls. This decade also saw the rise of selfie culture, thanks front-facing cameras, social media apps like Instagram, and Snapchat streaming services like Netflix and Spotify, mobile banking, ride-sharing, dating, and more phones became our constant companions. By 2014, more people were accessing the Internet via mobile than desktop. By 2017, most people were using their phones for over 4 hours per day. The 2020s ushered in 5G, a faster, more reliable, lower latency network that's unlocking futuristic possibilities like real-time augmented reality, artificial reality, and virtual reality, smart cities and connected vehicles, remote surgeries, and advanced robotics. Today's smartphones are more powerful than the computers that sent astronauts to the moon. With AI now integrated directly into devices, voice assistants like Siri and Google Assistant, and ever-evolving features like foldable screens, under-display cameras, and biometric security, the only real question is, what's next? From walkie-talkie-style car phones to palm-sized supercomputers, the history of the cell phone is a testament to human innovation. What started as a luxury for the elite is now a global necessity, connecting billions, breaking down barriers, and reshaping how we live, work, and communicate. And with 6G and brain-computer interfaces already in development, it's safe to say, we're just getting started.